So Bungie did their reveal stream about, what time is it? 40 minutes ago. Holy shit! There is so much hype. They showed so much, and there's still so much more to show. Like it was an hour long, and time passed in no time, and there was like 250 plus people, 250,000. Excuse me, 250,000 plus people watching the stream, watching a dead game supposedly. There is so much new stuff coming. It is well worth the $40 to get this, in my opinion. If people didn't believe it before, they should believe it now after watching that or watching this. I have no. I mean, I could try to find a link to maybe a rebroadcast of this reveal, but I'm just going to showcase some of the highlights, some screenshots, and just while all these photos are rolling, I'll be talking about all the awesome shit that they revealed. So, yes, as you can see right now, it happened. It's happening. More vault space. It's like the last thing they highlighted. They kept putting it off to keep stalemating us because it just, because everyone wanted to know. And yes, we got more vault space. It's doubled for the weapons. It's tripled for the armor. And it's, not really doubled for the materials, but since you don't have to keep shaders and emblems in there, since they have their own kiosk over by Evil Levante, you'll have so much room materials for all the materials you have. If you didn't catch it, there's a little hidden surprise they put. There's a sword. Look at that. A sword in the vault. And right at the very end, as they were showing off the cool new dances and doing their little outro, that if you look closely at this hunter, he has a sword on his back. Wait for it. There it is. Look at that. That's a sword on his back. We get to use swords now. Like, not just to kill Crota and stuffs. And Blades of Crota. There's, we can. I don't know if we could use it in PvE or whatever. Here's a screenshot of like the info of it. Use left trigger or L2 to guard. Effective against solar and void attacks. Less effective against arc attacks. Speed, impact, range, efficiency, defense, and energy. Oh my goodness, that's so cool that we'll be able to use swords and they're their own weapon now. Not just some special thing we get to use. Here they were looking at Deej's test character, the Warlock. Just, you see the ghost shell right there at the bottom left. They didn't have a relic displayed quite yet. And they're talking about the intellect, and discipline, and the strength. And so you actually have a timer for your cooldown, so you know how long it's going to take as you increase or put more. If you put more strength on, that cooldown timer will go down. So that's sweet. This was from the little video yesterday. They talked about light level. Or, well, not light level. Light for your gear, it's a combination of your attack and your defense, and it's an average of all your gear that you have. Here's the quest page, something I didn't notice before. There's 32 quest slots. You'll be able to hold 32 quests. And of course there's 16 bounty slots. Also, you can turn in bounties from anywhere. You don't have to go to the tower to turn them in. You can turn them in from anywhere. And for new players, this is something sweet. The Spark of Light, anyone gets this. Everyone gets this, I think, with a pre-order, I believe. It immediately puts a character up to level 25, so that way, if you're a new player and you're kind of worried about catching up, use that Spark of Light, immediately get to 25. After you, of course, play like the first story mission, learn the basics, and everything. Here, the speaker is selling ghost shells, and ghost shells have their own perks on them. Ghost shells and class items, you'll be able to customize. Well, this one only has one perk, obviously, but class items have more perks. Some of them have perks that allow you to earn glimmer by killing Titans in the Crucible for Crucible class items, or killing Hive, just specifically. This is the emblem kiosk is what it's called. As you can see, there's 4 collection pages, and all the ones that are highlighted are the ones that you have and you can get that you've collected, and other ones it'll tell you what you have to do to get them. Like, you need to play this quest, or you need to play these strikes, or you need to kill or do this in Crucible or something like that. It's just it's so cool, and it has the same thing with shaders. And then they went over and took a look at some of the factions. Here's a Suros themed New Monarchy auto rifle, and of course, you know, you can pledge allegiance to the flag or to a faction, and you can only change that at the next week. So you have to be that faction for the next week. Here they were showing off some of the robes, the chest armor for the Warlock. See some of the perks, even more OP for Sunsinger with that perk right there. Here's yeah. That's explaining the whole faction allegiance, and that you can only change once a week. So faction's pretty cool. There's all kinds of packages. You can exchange materials and synths and just other materials for rep with a faction. Yeah, so if you have all kinds of weapon parts, exchange them and get packages from your faction. Here you can see the competitive shell. It's a crucible ghost shell that you can buy. And you can see it's got the little earns glimmer from killing titans. That last bounty right there, if you complete these other 5 bounties, there's a weekly bounties that you can do through Shacks. If you complete that last bounty, if you do those 5 bounties, you obviously if you complete that last bounty, man, I can't talk right now. I'm so hyped. And from that, it says unknown rewards. It's Nightfall tier rewards is what they said on the stream. Nightfall tier rewards. So Crucible players who more rather want to play Crucible can get Nightfall tier rewards from those bounties rather than having to do the Nightfall, which they would rather play PvP. So cool. Also, the other Crucible vendor had its own weapon-specific bounties. And another thing to note, legendary marks, they're capped at 200 per character, but you can not really swap them to another character, but they're characters wide, so that way you can spend on one character, go to another character, and you still have that amount to spend with another character. And also, the big thing they said is you can earn as many as you want in a week. So you can cap at 200, go spend all 200, go get another 200, spend those, and keep going again. There's no cap on how many you can earn a week, just a cap on how many you can hold. And finally we arrived at the exotic blueprints page eventually. This is the black and red themed Suros. Look at how awesome that is. Now there is like new versions of the exotics that you can unlock. You have to be to level 40 first to be able to get them. And also if you actually dismantle one or lose one somehow, you can buy it again for like an exotic shard and like a certain amount of glimmer. Here's a little kiosk you can go to. It's in the Vanguard. There's one on the left side of the door for the weapons. Here is the weapons page. This is from the video from yesterday. Right there. As you can see, you just have to unlock them by getting level 40 and stuff. And your year 1 primaries, not all of them, well, all year 1 weapons, not all of them are going to be, you know, immediately good in year 2, but they will all eventually transfer over and be good in year 2. Here is when they were looking at the armor station. Here's the new version of the Light Beyond Nemesis, and what they did was they retooled the perks and threw in some more like strength and discipline type perks like you have with your class items and your ghost shells, and they put the most important perk. I don't know if it's for all of them, but they only showed Light Beyond Nemesis. The most important perk of Light Beyond Nemesis, the one you're always trying to work for, is the first perk you can unlock. So you can immediately start using your exotics, get right into that awesome perk that you want immediately. Big thing right here, you can buy legendary engrams from the cryptarch. Look at that. And there's a stock refresh, so it'll change. It'll flip around and everything, and you can buy different ones. And they cost 60 marks, and like I said, you can earn as many marks in a week as you want. So you can keep rolling the dice on that heavy or those gauntlets and try to get what you want. And of course they could upgrade to an exotic as well. And then we arrived at the gunsmith and all the arms day stuff. As you can see, there's a rep with a gunsmith. Now everyone will start at 0 since this has never been a thing before. And all the packages you get as you level up in the gunsmith, you can buy these packages and you will get a weapon with random perks on arms day, which is Wednesday, the day after reset. So you buy one of these packages, you can get it. I don't know if it's limited to how many a week, probably like 1 or 2, probably only 1. Also above those packages are test weapons from the weapon foundries that you can go out and patrol or in Crucible and use and do the challenges with them to unlock, weapons in the foundries. So there's all kinds of weapons to get through the gunsmith. Here is one of the Suros weapons. It's a scout rifle, and here they're talking about infuse. You could spend some legendary marks, mode, swim parts, and glimmer to infuse a weapon by taking a more powerful weapon and infusing it into this weapon, making this weapon's attack value, and just making it stronger overall. And I don't know how do we know if we're using the correct weapon to infuse it into, or is there a better weapon that we should be using this weapon, infuse that into that weapon, or how do we get these weapons to infuse? I don't know, but it's a really cool concept rather than ascending. Infusion is still confusing, but I like it a lot better than ascending, making your weapons better by sacrificing other weapons. And that is all the screenshots I have. Is there any other things that they talked about? You get currency from dismantling anything. You know, you dismantle some legendaries that you don't really want, you get marks for that, or glimmer. You get, you know, and you can use that to buy things that you do want. So that's sweet. Also, the fact that legendary marks work for crucible and PvE type stuff. Just by getting marks by playing like strikes and patrols and quests and bounties, you can use that to buy crucible stuff, or vice versa. If you're a crucible player but you don't want to play PvE, you can get PvE gear, you know, that you think is better or that you think is cool. You can get that without having to play PvE. But still, it looks like it's plenty fun to play everything, crucible and PvE side, with all the bounties and all the quests, everything that we'll be able to do. Everything's gonna be a blast. That's what I recommend. What else? Oh, gear from year 1 isn't going to be completely irrelevant. They said that when you start playing your first mission and all that, yes, you'll be getting greens or uncommons that are better than your year 1 stuff. You know, they outclass it, but still, your year 1 stuff will hit just as hard. It'll be just as good. It just won't be the best. And when you're leveling, like doing bounties, trying to level up your factions, they don't level by themselves. They also level Vanguard as well. So you're always leveling Vanguard as well as your faction. Ooh, and the last thing that I have here is when they're looking at the factions and they're talking about duplicate drops, how the loot's supposed to remember better what you have and haven't gotten. They're talking about, let's say you get a shader drop from one of your factions. The game will, the loot table will remember that you've gotten that and remove it out of the equation to try and give you a different shader that you haven't gotten. So a lot less duplicate drops. Yes! Very good. Whether it's just shaders, legendaries, exotics, it'll be looking forward to all the different gear and weapons. There's so much to get. I'm so hyped. It was an hour ago that the stream happened, and everything that we looked at was so cool and so much hype. I honestly, year 1, everyone's saying that's like a year 1 beta, but I think year 1 was just Bungie kind of feeling out, you know, the community and the game and what everyone thinks of it. And now in year 2, pretty much everything's getting corrected. And of course, we'll probably find some all new kinds of problems that we don't like and everything. But year 2 is everything that was wrong with year 1 is being fixed, because you gotta kind of feel it out to start. So that's everything I have. That's the highlights I have from the stream. There's all kinds of stuff on Twitter and the forums probably, so go check it all out. But that's everything I have to say. So I will see you guys in the next video.